everyone. This is a special webinar crafted especially for you as traders. And the title of this webinar today is OTBoss. Actually, it's OTBoss3 now, the ultimate trading system. The reason for that is we added something to it. So I'll be showing that here in just a little bit. But let's go over the standard disclaimer, all right? Everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk, therefore there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars I have, my live trading room, or anything else with Viper Trading Systems should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? Now, since, I see a lot of names that I have seen before, but I see a whole bunch of them that I have not seen before. So bear with me because I'm going to tell you a little bit about Viper Trading Systems first. Okay, let me go ahead and kill this screen right here. We don't need it anymore. The disclaimer's off the table. And by the way, we're one of those vendors that's here to take care of our customers. You're very important to us. I am in business to teach people to trade my system, and this system has been around for 13 years now. If anybody remembers in the past, actually I had a trading partner. His name was Charles Boyle. Charles passed away in September of last year. Viper is still around, and matter of fact, doing very, very well. And I do endeavor to take care of all of my customers. Even if you take a trial, you're still a customer to me. You may be paying me $0 for a trial, but I'll still take care of you just like you're, a paying subscription. I can be reached at this number right here. This is the number right to my desk. If I don't answer it, my wife Linda will. And we also have support email at support@vipertradingsystems.com. She'll also field those phone calls, by the way, that come in. A lot of people don't know I'm having a webinar. And then I have a Skype handle, Viper Trader on Skype. So you can definitely get in touch with me. It's not one of those deals where you have to put a 48-hour email and pray that you get in touch with the owner or anything like that, okay? So that's our contact link right there. And feel free, if you need to contact me, just put in your first name, last name, email, a phone number that I can reach you at in case you need me to call you back, and a message. Now, we're sophisticated to the point now with our customer relations management system that this will actually ping my cell phone, it'll ping my wife's cell phone, it'll ping my son's cell phone. So if we're even at the mall shopping or walking around or eating or anything, we will get your message. So this is very, very good way to take care of customers. Yeah, Lisa, we hated losing Charles. That was very sad. Miss the guy. Okay, so this is my contact link right here. Our website is brand new within about the last 6 months. It's very sophisticated as far as being able to get in touch with our customers. I was just going over some of that. You can get in touch with us very, very easy. All right, so let's go to the home page. Now, the home page on Viper Trading Systems for 13 years has been www.vipertradingsystems.com. You can get in touch with me through the contact link. You can even go to my chat. I've got a little chat widget down here at the bottom. You can click on it, chat support, you can get in touch with me, okay? Very easy to get in touch with Viper Trading Systems. All right, our homepage, by the way, I do have free videos that you're welcome to watch. These are training videos that are basically weekly webinars that I teach continually. And we do also have a 7-day free trial. No credit cards necessary or anything like that. You just simply sign up for the trial. And there's the trial link right there. You'll see it on the home page. You just click this. This is the same thing as this right here. And you just simply fill out your name, email, phone, and I need your machine ID from NinjaTrader so I can turn your scripts on. Okay, so that's that easy to do. Now, don't do it right this very moment because I've got that particular page in draft mode right now because we're going to introduce what you're going to see today is also going to be on that trial. Okay. All right, let's go off the trial link and let's go to our training area, okay? This is our training area right here. It's basically set up with modules. It's got a weekly links module. That'll give you the links to the trading room each and every day. It'll give you a link to my webinar that I teach. It also gives you some videos on even NinjaTrader 7, which was a while back now. Free video library. You can even download our latest scripts right here on this site. Once you're a member, you can do that. And then we've got a members area that's got a whole lot of videos and things on it that'll teach you how to trade our system, okay? A welcome video, a little bit of talking about the risk involved in futures, a real nice, this one's about, I think, 2 hours, but it was a trading room from start to finish recorded so people could see how the trades are called in the room, okay? And then Monday night webinar was last night. I post those immediately so that you're always up to date with the freshest webinar. So that's last night's webinar right there. If you take a trial, you'll be able to get that same webinar from last night. Okay, so that's a little bit about Viper Trading Systems. And just letting you know, we run a trading room, by the way, 5 days a week. Okay, there's only 5 trading days in a week, so we run them all 5 days. Monday, I open the room at about 7:50 Central Time. Okay, we like to get that first little move on crude oil and gold. The regular equity session starts at 8:30 Central Time. Trades will be called on ES. Trades are called on CL. Trades are called on gold. And we also watch YM for direction, and some trades are called on it also. Okay, and the way we trade and teach is based on price action. So once you learn how to trade our system, you could trade NQ, you could trade RTY, you trade anything you want to trade, okay? The training is right here so that you can totally keep up with exactly how everything works. And don't think you'll learn it in one night, because I promise you, you won't. But it is simple enough that anybody can learn it because I've made it that way. I've got little quick videos of how to use Object Trader. I've got some comprehensive videos about how to use Object Trader. Okay, so there's lots and lots of training, but the real meat of our system is the trading room, and it's open every single day, 5 days a week for 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. Okay, all right, so let's see, went over all of this, so we're good to go. So let's go ahead and look at what a chart looks like with Viper Trading Systems, okay? Bear with me a second, and I'll show you a chart. And I'll show you how we actually like to trade. I'm going to just move this chart around and show you some things here real quick. Bear with me a second. All right. First off, on our charts, you're going to always find that we have colors for our backgrounds. We have these ellipses, which are called predictors. They predict where the trade will start. Okay, for instance, this is a short type background, so the predictor says short me here because this is a phantom trade, and look at the nice trade that it sets up. Okay, we're also breakout traders, especially when we get these double bottoms like this. I'll take this trade in a heartbeat long. See the low, the high, the lower low, breaks that little swing right there, box it in, and off it goes. And we've got the tools to do that too. Now, this little panel over here is called Object Trader. And Object Trader is a NinjaTrader 8 strategy that was developed. Basically, it's been developed for about the past, I'd say pretty close to 8 years, but that was including Ninja 7, because Ninja 7 was what it was first set up on, okay? But you ever like to scalp and make money? Well, you can do it with our system, because here's a, for instance, here's a thrust and a retrace. That's called a mid-band trade. See this little band right here? That's called our mid-band, okay? That's a very important band that we watch very closely, okay? We've got a trader called a mid-band trader that will actually take these trades at these mid-bands, okay? And we teach people how to see this in real time so that you can actually take advantage of some of these trades like this. This is a thrust, which we would actually get to begin with, but this is our first retrace. And that's a mid-band trade. Comes right off a predictor, take the trade. You know, you draw your lines at your resistance areas and you get out of the trade. Okay, you change trends, you go mid-band, you get about a 10 tick, maybe 12 tick trade on that one right there. Okay. Let's see what you meant by phantom trade. Well, phantom trade, I've got basically videos on that, but let me just show you some phantom trades, okay? Matter of fact, oil had some, see, here's a mid-band trade here, perfect stair-stepping mid-band after a trend change. That's what we're looking for, okay? By the way, this could also be taken earlier than this because we teach this trade. See the high, low, lower, high. You pretty much box that in and you get a good 10, 15 tick trade. Okay, but let's go to the right side of the chart and I'll show you what a phantom is. Okay, now this is a phantom trade right here. Now this one's already materialized because our little alert will actually alert you to that being a phantom trade right there on that bar. Okay, so that's telling you that that's a phantom trade, deep retracement. Now, a deep retracement can also be a trend change, okay? So phantom trades, as a rule, will work about 85% of the time, at least for a scalp, okay? But you're also going to want to be ready to box it in to take it the opposite direction of what it's showing here, which is long, because see, it's actually, matter of fact, you got a high, you got a low, you got a lower high, got a lower low, lower high, and even lower low again. So is that actually trending up right now? Not really, right? So we've got a little trader in here that's called auto region, and you put it on your chart and hit insert, and this little trader will take whichever direction you tell it to. Okay, you can simply do a touch above the box, you can do a touch plus above the box, you can do a short below the box, you can do a long above, you can do about any combination you'd think of. The basis for a phantom, Rich, on your question, it's a trend continuation, deep retracement, okay? And these scripts are actually designed based on price action. They're proprietary algorithms, but I think you'll find if you go through this thing, you'll see mid-band trades that work, mid-band trades that work, mid-band trade that worked here. Phantom trade did not work here, but you get out of it. I'll show you how to get out of the trade quickly. This is called a predictor trade. It worked, okay? And you'll see time and time again, see here's a phantom short right here. You just simply wait for the mid-band to change from a long color, which is your lime green, your blue, and your yellow, to magenta or red, but it goes magenta first because that's a trend change. And that's your first phantom right there, okay? This is your first phantom on an uptrend. See your downtrending line right here, then it goes up. That's a phantom long right there. And those will actually trigger with your little alerts too. It'll actually show you the green flashing bar. All I have to do is change the time on it because this is back more than 4 hours. So you just simply set this for, like, say, what, a day's 1440, right? 1440 minutes. So that way you can see those flash, and you'll actually see those flash right there, letting you know that's a phantom area. Yeah, so it seems phantom gets in on pullbacks, absolutely, and it's designed that way. Okay, now keep in mind though, one thing you want to look for when you get into a market, first off, how many thrusts has it made? Well, this one's actually made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So is it going to continue after this? It double topped right up here. So couldn't you actually do what we teach, and that is box it either direction? You could do that, right? Okay. So let's see, are the green circles phantom entries as opposed to the other circles? No, the green is actually, when we go into a mid-band that is a long color, you'll get green and blue predictors when you have this color background with this midband like this, you get white and magenta predictors. So that's looking for resistance rollovers. That's looking for support bounces. Okay. Can you use this with 1 minute chart? You probably, I mean, I think you could, because a minute's, not that long to begin with. But if you've ever looked at charts that actually stair step, you're going to see a whole different way to trade, because a 4-range chart will give you what we call lightning. Let me show you what I mean by this. See your little swings right there? You got a high, you got a low, you got a lower high, lower low, lower high. It's already kissed this resistance area. Could this actually be a short instead? Well, it's pretty much trying to. Your support's over here on the left. See right there? So we've got tools that'll take that trade. You could use a region, for instance, instead of a region auto. Put your region on. It doesn't move at all. The region auto does. Let's say if I just wanted to take that, if it breaks that, I could have this set already by simply going short, touch plus. That way I don't get wicked into it. And if it breaks that support, I could be ready to take that trade. Okay. I've got trend lines even called wedges that I can take trades with too. Okay. So these are pretty cool little features on Object Trader. You can box in a trade. You can do what we call an auto region, which will actually draw automatically on your chart, and it'll draw with every single 2 bars. And that way you can just simply turn one of these on to take the trade. I like using it a lot of times because I can actually get into more trades. For instance, let's say that you wanted to do 2 contracts instead of 1. Well, just set your max quantity down here to 2, and that's the most it'll get into. If it breaks this little region right here, it'll fire 1. If I turn it on auto, it'll fire probably 2. Okay, and that's how easy this is to use. Now in my trading room, I'm going to be doing this stuff live in the markets to where a person could actually see that they can take a trade. For instance, in the trading room, if we were up at 12 o'clock at night, I would simply be saying our long short line is right here. See this little number right there? That's our long short line. That's telling you that if that breaks that, you're not heading up any longer. Like Dorothy said, you're not in Kansas anymore. Well, if you break that, then you're heading down. Okay, and it's really that simple. Okay, is it fully automated? Well, Jay, on your question, it is automated, but you want to watch it. Okay, what I'm talking about there is you don't want to take every single trade, because what you mainly want when you're trading is you want stair-stepping mid-bands. You want that first time in after a trend change, and preferably the first 2 hours of the market, because they're great. The first thing in the morning, when oil opens, to give an example, I called 4 trades this morning and all 4 of them worked out on crude oil. I'll even show those in a little bit if we can get this advanced at all. Okay, markets are closed right now, so I have to kind of do this in like a playback mode. But if you want to see this, for instance, if you wanted to take this trade right here at that break, or what if you wanted to take a break here and just in case it broke up above here, maybe you looked and said, okay, I've got resistance right over here to the left, like so. What if I said, you know what? I'm going to take you if you break that resistance right there, because you'd also be breaking a low, a lower low, and a high, so you'd be heading back up. And I could set it both ways, long above, short below, by simply just turning those on right there. I can also tell it how many contracts I want to take, and it will take no more than that. I've got what's called a max quantity. And by having a max quantity, that means that this is saying, okay, I'm going to go 1 contract at a time, like so, but it'll only go up to 2. Okay. I can also even trail out of this thing, which is pretty cool too, because let's say that I got in, say, 3 contracts and I'm all of a sudden like in 3, but then I change this to 2, it'll automatically change that to 2 and it'll close one of your trades out. Change it to 1 and it'll close all trades out except for 1. It's all automatic, well, where you can just simply turn that on. And it'll only go to the max. If I had it set for like micros, for instance, this is not micros, But what if I wanted to trade, 10 contracts of micro and do it in like, say, 3 contract increments? Well, it would do 3, 3, 3, and 1, and then it would add up to the 10. But it won't go over it. So even if I do that, it goes right back to 10. And then if I do this, it changes this right down and takes your contracts right off the table. Okay? So when does the buy or sell dots appear? Well, this actually doesn't have a buy or sell dot. This is controlled by what you tell it to do. Okay? For instance, if I wanted to just go ahead and trade this like right here, let's say if they decide to break this little swing right here, and I'm kind of a gutsy trader and I want to go ahead and take it if it breaks that swing, I could move that box in real time and start this region at short outside touch +2, and if it comes 2 ticks under that box, it will fire. Well, thank you, Jan. Jan says, I noticed that a lot of development went into your object trader. Looks very good indeed. Jan, one thing about object trader is basically when I started trading range bars, it's almost like an epiphany after a while. You see these swings. And so we literally started developing indicators that would draw swings. We developed a trader that would take region trades. We developed a trader that'll even take trend line trades. It's called the wedge. It'll even take a triangle trade. You ever seen it where you got your highs lower and your lows higher? You draw kind of a triangle. No, you don't manually draw them, Rich. You just simply hit the insert key. I'll show you. See the insert key? It will draw on the last 2 bars that have fully formed. At this very moment, that bar is fully formed and that bar is fully formed. This bar is starting. So if you start a region, it's going to draw from here to here. Okay, insert, see where it drew? There to there. Okay, now if this bar actually closes down, the auto region will actually redraw it. You want to see how that works? It's pretty cool. We'll put it on auto region instead, and I'll show you what it actually does. Let's just go ahead and start up some data here so you can see it. And this was in the middle of the night, so this is probably going to be very, very slow. Okay, see how that box is drawn right there? 2 ticks out of it, and it will fire a short trade. Okay, this is called auto region. Now watch it redraw, because it's going to draw with every 2 bars. Okay, let's just put this on 2 only and 1 at a time. My main concern is that the screen looks busy. I don't really think so, but then again, I know my system really, really well. And once you learn it and you see it in action, you'll be surprised how well you like it. See, now we've got this, let's just go short only on this because it is stair stepping down. I'm not taking a chance on a long unless it breaks that line. How powerful of a computer is recommended for this program? Well, I would recommend a good, powerful computer. I have what's called the Falcon computers from tradingcomputers.com. I've got 2 Blue Ices. They're really nice computers. But, just a good computer is good enough. The significance of the box, why would I want to take a trade just because it's a few ticks from last 2 candles? Oh, that's a good one, Rich. Because we simply turn it on so that we don't get wicked into a trade. Watch what this actually does. See, this bar right here is fully formed. This one's not. Now, if that bar closes up, it'll pop the box up here. If that goes down, it's going to put the box right there, actually under that wick. Watch and see if it does. It may take a moment. It's like I say, that's midnight. We'll see. Just watch it and you'll see the box draw with 2 last candles. The beauty of trading a box, in my personal opinion, is how many of you have put like Fibonacci's on your charts and like you're trying to get a 61% or a 50% and it just misses it. Well, our box won't miss it because we set it the way we want it. See how that drew those 2 candles now? Watch, see there, 2 candles. And now let's see if it actually breaks. If it breaks, it'll actually fire the trade short. Okay, you're getting a low, high, lower low. That's a lower high again right there than that. See it? So could you take that trade if it breaks that box? Let's see. The one thing about our scripts too is that you'll find that they're basically you're basically being able to see the trade so that whether it there it just went. You're seeing the trade ahead of time. There's your second contract right there, by the way. See how that works right there? Now my stop, I can actually start putting anywhere I want it. Now let's say that I think this may break down or something. I can move my targets in real time. I can look to the left to trade the right. Anybody ever heard of measured moves? If you've been to webinars, you've heard of measured moves, I'll bet you. So let me show you where this trade could be going. Draw your measured move. Okay, that's your first thrust retrace. Actually, it's right here, right there, and there. So that would be where you'd put your first target. That's your measured move. See, like that? Thrust, retrace, thrust. If you've ever studied Elliott waves, you know that they go in thrust, retrace, thrust, ABC, 1, 2, 3. Okay? You can take profit anytime you want. You can just simply sell one to get out of it. Or what if you just said, you know what, this looks like pretty good. By the way, we got that on auto, so let's turn that off. We got 2 on now. That's plenty. All right. So basically, what if I wanted to set my stop just a little above the swing and see if I could get a gusto trade? I've got a feature on here. I can put it on line 4. Trail enabled, trail engaged, and it pops the stop right to that mid band. And then I just ride my trade. Because the whole idea of, everybody know what the definition of a downtrend is, right? Lower highs and lower lows. So why would you get out of a trade until you quit getting lower highs and lower lows? Okay, you can stay with the trade with Viper simply because look at that lightning falling. See it? It's falling right now. Now you're getting a low, a high, a higher low. Now you're getting, maybe they'll take out that low. By the way, you can even add by simply turning that back on. So you can get in 3 real easily if you want to. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll just do 3, auto, and let it do its thing. If it goes through the bottom of that box, what if I wanted it at the top of the box? Short inside adds it. See there? I can actually add it by turning the top of the box to short. Why did I do that? Because it got a lower high. See how beautiful that is? I had a webinar last night and I showed how you can actually take breakout trades if you know where your lightning is. Because your swings are king. When you're trading, these swings are king. If it stair steps down, you stick with the trade. You're fine. Okay. Now, could I go ahead and move my stop now? Well, I've got a low, got a high, got a little ABC. Could I put my stop above that swing right there? I've even got features on Object Trader to where we can even do what's called exit on close, which means that it has to close above. Let me turn that off and go back down to that swing. I can even put it to where it has to exit above this line, and that way nobody at the broker sees my trade, because now the trade's here at the broker and here as a line that breaks. So that way it's called exit on close. If it closes above that line, it gets you out of the trade. The broker sees this one at 71.48 and they think, wow, that guy's, whatever trader it is, got a pretty good stop. We're not going to try to get that. We may try to get this one or this one. See what I mean? So exit on close is pretty cool. We've got other features too. You can reverse a trade. You can do anything you want with a trade. But once you get to your figure for the day, okay, how many of you have more than $1,000 a day goal? How many of, just a quick show of hands, won't mention anybody's name or anything like that. It is being recorded, absolutely. Yeah, okay. Several are coming in like that. How many of you would love to just have 500 a day? 500 a day is fine, right? Okay. The key to trading is to know when to stop. Okay. The key to trading is knowing when to stop. For instance, right now you're up 470 bucks, 490 bucks, 430 bucks. When do you hit the trigger? Well, one thing you can do, sorry about that little pop up. One thing that you can do is let your money disappear, or you can just simply scale out of some contracts too. Anybody ever heard of a company called Apex or Lilu or some of those out there? They have what they call trailing drawdowns, and it's very important that you get out of a trade at the proper time. Okay. Now, what if you said, wow, you know what? That's a pretty good trade. What if I get to $1,000 and I just want to hit the button? I can do that. What if I just scale out of one of those contracts by just simply hitting the buy button? And now I'm going to be, let's see real quick, buy a market. I'm out of all but one. Oh, we're adding back because of the box. Turn that off. I was changing that, and I'm going to put my stop right above that swing. Shouldn't have added contracts right there, but anyway, we did. But the whole thing is, if you have an auto on, it'll keep adding to the max. So in other words, when I was taking those off, it was just putting them right back on. Okay. Where would you put your stop right now? Anybody? How about that swing? How about a feature built into Object Trader to where you can tell it to use that swing? It's called Lightning. And let's just go with Lightning 2. We'll engage our trail. And there's your stop right there. Now this will follow Lightning. And as long as Lightning stays to where it's not stair stepping back up, when do you want to stop? Anybody? There's another little swing right there. You can put your stop right there. There's resistance right there. You just gave up $200 of it. Apex says you're in $200 drawdown. When do you want to stop this trade? Well, I would have stopped that trade down in here, but we didn't. Okay. Now this is a mid-band trade setting up right here. This is called a mid-band trade. And if it rolls over, you can also take that trade. Okay. And simply, now we're in 3, so we obviously wouldn't want to add any more. Matter of fact, we could get rid of a couple of them just like that and just simply ride one. That easy. I've designed this tool to where it makes the trader to where he can make, he or she obviously, can make their decision of how to take these trades and how to manage the trade. That's called a mid-band trade, by the way. Predictor said to take it right there. You just about got your money back, even though we stood there and let it go away. Okay. So the beauty of our system is when you want to stop it, you know, like let's say for instance, you get to $1,000 and you say, you know what, that's good enough for me. Just hit the close button. I've got traders every day in the room that'll comment in the little comment box and say, hey, I got $1,000, I'm done for the day. Hey, I got $500, I'm happy, done. I got traders that go, wow, I got 7,000 for the day, Gary, I'm happy. Well, it just depends on how many contracts you do and what your risk tolerance is. Okay, could you put your stop right there on top of that swing? If it takes it, it takes it. Okay. Now that actually, this is in playback mode, so that moved that because we've got our enable button on because of the trail stop right there. Okay. So these are some tools that we offer that can flat make you some coin. And if you trade the way I teach, where you get these stair stepping mid bands and you look for these mid band trades and you look for these phantom trades, you're going to do pretty good in your trading. Okay. Now, like I said, when do you take your coin? Okay. If you get to $1,000 bill, couldn't you take it? You've had 2 reprieves so far that could have already taken off the table. Okay. This is where traders will mess up the most, is that they'll think it's still heading down, and actually in reality it's getting a low, a high, a higher low. And if it gets a higher high, guess what? It's no longer heading down. So why couldn't you just say, you know what? That's good enough for me if that bar closes up even. You take mid-band and place stop at green line. What you would do if you take a mid-band trade, the mid-band trader will automatically put your stop at line 7. I don't leave my stop there for very long at all. And the reason I don't is because that's too much of a stop. If I get in the wrong side of a trade, I want to kind of get out. Now, is this a legitimate trade? No. See how I said in real time? High, higher low, higher high. This is changing trends, or it's going to give you a phantom. The phantom trade is right there. You just simply turn that on and short the bottom of the box. But what if it's a missile instead? Well, it could be. Okay. So guess what? We've even got features where you can even reverse the trade if you want. See, because that's actually not going to be a phantom. Let's see if it is. See, it's changing the background green. What if I said, you know what? You break that stop right there, and I might just take you long. We've got that feature built in too. If it hits that stop, it'll and exit above it, it will actually fire the trade accordingly. Okay. So that's what that's all about. By the way, in playback mode, that will actually kill Object Trader because it encountered an error. Now, if it does that, what you want to do is you want to go to your positions and cancel them, close everything, and then just reload Object Trader. Okay. Now, what trade is this called right here? Anybody? That's called a mid-band trade. Okay. So just simply put Object Trader on your chart. You know, we're past time, so we have to just use playback for now. And you're ready for your next trade. That was a beautiful, what we call a predictor trade. Now, we've got another trade that I think you'll like too that is called a predictor trade. It will actually draw on a predictor above or below. Since we're in a long type of trend right now, you would want to draw the one below. And the moment a bar closes, it'll draw a region around that predictor right there. Isn't that pretty cool? And then you can set it just like we did the other one. You can take the trade. You could take a short if it breaks this. You could set it for long above, short below. See how it just bounced off that predictor? That would have triggered if you simply turned that on. And that's called an actual live predictor trade if you took it. See what I mean? Okay. Anybody have any questions on any of this? Now, keep in mind, you're not going to learn this in a day. I promise you're not. But I can tell you this, that if you'll put some time in, study some videos, come into the trading room, and watch the trades, that you will do quite well. I'm going to real quick change away from playback, and we're going to go to today's trades, and I'm going to show you exactly where the trades were called. Bear with me a second. I'm going to disconnect. That'll disconnect Object Trader. And I'm going to go into Apex. All right. And let's see, that's actually live data. Let me change charts though, because Apex didn't load that exactly correctly. Bear with me just one second. When you go out of playback into real data, sometimes it'll give you fits, but you just got to reload it. Well, it looks like they're actually breaking down like that. Anybody else got a chart like this on crude oil? Must have been some kind of news come in after the market, because the market is closed, you know, until 4 p.m. There you go, Jan. The trial request, by the way, is automatic. Once you sign up for the trial, it's going to give you a login, your special login, your special password, and you'll be able to get to the trial area and everything. Okay, but let me go back on here, and I'm going to show you. Let's see here. That's not right on data right there. Bear with me just a second. One thing about Rhythmic this time of day, they're not the most accurate. So they will be in a second because I'm going to restart NinjaTrader. Yeah, my chart's missing data. Anytime you go back in after you get out of playback, you're going to run into that. Bear with me a second, I'll reload it. Just takes a second because I got a pretty fast computer. Bear with me just one moment. Anytime you're missing data, that's not a good thing because that means that Rhythmic's offline somehow. Bear with me just 1 second. May have to just go back and playback mode, but I'll just put the deal on pause for just a minute and be right back. Okay, gonna have it up in just 1 second. Yeah, my chart's definitely missing data. No question about it. Okay, real quick, some questions coming in about how long the trial is. The trial is actually 7 days, but you're going to get longer than that because basically 7 days is 7 full days of trading, so that's 2 weeks. Here we go, we're coming back up. Was anybody privy to what happened to Rhythmic last week? Anybody in the room? There was some really squirrely type of things happened with Rhythmic last week. Here we go. All right, I'm back up, and I apologize for that. You know, the one thing about NinjaTrader's playback mode, yeah, it was a disaster, wasn't it? I mean, literally, we had people that locked up because Rhythmic literally quit taking orders. I think we just ran into something like that just a second ago. But let's go over real quick, and I'm going to show you how easily you can make money with this system because these are actual trade calls that were made in the room, and I'm going to show these to you. Okay, I opened the room at 7:50. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my chart at 7:50 right there. So obviously I didn't call any trades until I did my disclaimer. Okay. So I told my people to box this in right here. We nailed this trade literally right after I did the disclaimer. Thrust, retrace, thrust, draw you a trend line, get out of the trade if it breaks it, you're flat. But look at that trade, 2 contracts. That was a good $300 trade. Okay. Called this trade in the room also. Sorry about that. I'm going to go back. Called this trade in the room also right here. We boxed it in. This trade was good for $300. Thrust, retrace, thrust, draw your trend line. Again, you get out. See how you get this little lightning right there? You draw your trend line underneath your lows and you get out of the trade. Okay, and we've got a tool that'll actually do that for you. Then we had this right at the open of oil. See how oil opens at 8 o'clock? We had this beautiful phantom trade right here. This trade was boxed in right here. Thrust, retrace, draw your trend line. Again, that was your trend line at first right there. As it goes up, you simply move your trend line underneath the previous lows and you get out of the trade. Okay, so let me ask you a quick question. If you were in my trading room today and you did 2 contracts, this trade, let's say you got filled right here. So that was like 71.14. Okay, we had a line drawn at 71.09. I don't know if anybody's watching 71.09, but it's been a real support area. But anyway, you get in the trade, you get your 10 ticks, you got a $100 bill. You get your other trade, you got out, say basically right here as it crossed the line, right through there. So 71.22, you got in at 71.15. 14, so that's 8 ticks. So you got 180 bucks on that trade. This trade, you got filled right across here at like 12 or 13. You got out of the trade up here with both contracts. Or you took 10, that's a $100 bill, and then you took one of them off right here. So your exit was like 71, when it broke the line, 71.35-ish, got in at 71.14, say, or 13. That's not a bad trade, by the way, okay? That little trade right there, a $100 bill plus another 20 ticks or so, so that's a $300 trade, $180 trade. That's almost $500, okay? Didn't call another trade until we got the Phantom. This trade, you got your 10 ticks, you rode your runner goes underneath your lows, you got it way up here. Oh, we're calling them absolutely prior to the fills, but it's also based on exactly the way I teach in the webinars. The reason I designed the wedge tool was so that people could scale out of trades or get out of trades. Now, another way you can do this too, watch lightning. Let me show you something here. I'm doing a little bit more teaching than I'd planned to, but I'm gonna show you some things. See how you have a high here, a low here, and a higher high? Well, what's this over here? A high, a low, a lower high, and that bar is a lower low. So even if you got out there instead of the trend line, you still made good money. That's another trade that we teach right there, okay? Doesn't mean you have to short it there, but you could, because it is stair stepping down at that time, okay? Then after that, this trade was called, Phantom trade, 10 ticks, stopped you out on the rest of it. This trade was called. This is another Phantom trade right here. That's literally within 30 minutes of running a room. And that's not an unnormal day. These type of trades are called every single day. Some of our people that have a $500 bill is all they want. They hit 500 up in here, they hit the button. Some of our people that had a $1,000 bill in mind, they took this trade, they hit their 1,000. It's that easy, okay? Is it that easy every day? If you simply watch the tools and the way the charts draw, it is that easy. Now let me show you something else. When you look at this chart right here, you pretty much say, you know what? Got a high here, a low here, and a higher high here. What if they break this area or this area and we decide to head down instead? Could you be ready for that when they do? Because I also called this trade that broke right here, said box it in, short trade, and then we got this beautiful mid-band trade right here. See, that's a good 10-tick trade, by the way. It was called live too. And then this next trade right here is called a mid-band trade, and it went up and back down through the mid-band. We had a line drawn on the chart right here on the left at 45. We had another line drawn at 38 at the time, which was a fib number if I remember right. I'd have to look at it to see. But some of our people took the trade as it went through the mid-band, which we box them in. And again, you saw the trader that'll take this too. And then look what this trade did. There's your first thrust retrace, so you draw your trend line. Stopped out of that one. Is that a mid-band trade again? Is it stair stepping again? The answer is yes. So you box it in, you take the trade. That was also called. Okay, so all a person has to do, that's literally 1 hour and 30 minutes of trading right there. And you can get some beautiful trades in that room. And our indicators will let you know ahead of time. Okay, a lot of our people even do the mid-band trades based on how many candles turn the color. You know, for instance, this is called a short trade. Our auto alert will catch that, mid-band short. That bar will flash, that bar will flash. There's two contracts right there. This bar will flash, that bar will flash. That's two contracts right there. This bar flashed only one time, so you got one contract there, unless you just added another one. But see how the alerts let you know where to get in? So with our scripts, even if I'm trading crude oil and calling trades on crude oil, there's other trade setups. You know, if you looked at gold today and you happen to have been in our room today, I'll show you a gold chart real quick, just 1 second. But the proof is in the pudding too. You know how the old saying goes, come into my room and see. The old saying, come and see, because you'll find out that pretty good at calling these trades. I want to show you some gold trades, by the way, that set up in our room this morning. Right as I opened the room. This is when I opened the room, 750, right there. What kind of trade's this called right here? Stair-stepping magenta midband. What kind of trade since I started teaching this class, webinar, but it's class too, right? What kind of trade is that right there? What do you look for when you're trading? Most of you traders use these Fibonacci's, by the way. I've got an auto fib too that draws in real time, and it'll keep you up to date with where you're going. Could you draw a line at your 50? Could you have a trade waiting there or a box? Well, this trade was also called live, so let's add to that $1,000. It went up to midband, it kissed the 50, called it out live, it rolled over, we had a box drawn in the room, and of course the box is drawn with object trader, so it would literally take the trade, and you simply stay with the trade until it gives up the ghost. You turn on your lightning indicator, and you ride the trade. Get in again, see that one, trend line, got you out, get back in, called that trade also, ride your trade, see your lower high, high, low, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, stops you out right there. See how beautiful that is? Could you draw a trend line on that chart and get out of that trade just like I showed you earlier? You just simply draw your trend line along those highs. See that first high right there? Just draw the line and you'll see where to get out of the trade. Will this software work with NT7? Tom asks. I've got NT7 on the website, Tom, and you're welcome to that. Now, I can't get that for you for the trial because I've only got the trial on the Ninja 8. But yeah, you're welcome to that. Absolutely. I've got Ninja 7. It doesn't have everything that Ninja 8 does. I don't have the auto regions on Ninja 7. I don't have the new predictor trader on Ninja 7. Your predictor trader would have nailed that trade too. See there? You box it, you short it outside the box. You box it, you short it outside the box. We called this trade too. This was a deep retracement. But our people were ready for it because that's called a phantom. And our people took this trade right here. And your stop is at line 8. Your stop was almost hit too. That one's kind of a scary one, but it was a lower high than over here. And down she went. It's a beautiful system. I think you'll really be impressed with it. You can box in. Now keep in mind the way markets go sideways a lot, why wouldn't you want to just scalp them? You know, get a thrust retrace, draw a trend line. Get a thrust retrace, draw a trend line. And that way you get out of these trades before they come all the way back against you. And they'll finally break. They probably did on gold, I bet you. Let's see, there's a phantom. That's a high, low, lower high. Let's see if it did. Yeah, see, it broke big time. That phantom would have nailed that trade right through there. This will actually flash, let you know that that's a phantom trade. Okay, and this does this in real time. So when you're watching this and you're saying, hey, I want a phantom trade, I've got traders in my room that'll actually watch for the first mid-band trade, get a good scalp, wait for the next trade to be a phantom, which is above line 6. That's your line 6 right there, and get that trade rollover right there. And they just work time and time again. You get another thrust down, you get another mid-band trade, it's just all over. Well, mid-band, Jay, on your question, see, we've got different trades that we take. There's the mid-band trade and there's the phantom trade. Now, the phantom is a deeper retracement trade. Does that mean that you couldn't actually go long like at a mid-band and try to get 10 ticks? We do it all the time. But if you'll stay with the trend, the overall trend, you'll do much better in your trading because this never changed. See, when I opened the room this morning at 8 o'clock, you were pretty much looking for shorts. It went a little bit deeper on this one and changed my background, but notice that the midband didn't change. So it was still looking for shorts there. Our midband will change accordingly. Okay, like let's see if we can find if it did go up later real quick. There's another midband trade, midband trade, midband trade. Close to a midband trade. That's a predictor trade. There's another predictor trade, another midband trade, and then you changed trends. Everybody see that? Now, will this continue heading up? It is a midband trade. It did get you probably 10 ticks, but did it head up or did it head down? It headed down. So if you're in a downtrend, watch your longs, because if you take a midband trade and it doesn't work or you don't get 10 ticks, then don't go again until like phantom. But your phantom trade with this heading down like this, I would have probably never taken that trade to begin with. And then just go for your midband again or your predictor. Okay, there's a phantom trade. Flashes right at you, lets you know. Midband trade. Another midband trade. Predictor trade. No trade since. There's a predictor trade again. There's a predictor trade that never fired. See, it never went down below it. Phantom trade, pink midband, that's still shorts. That's a good phantom though. See this phantom right here? This changes this background right here. This is an either or trade. Now we weren't open at that time, so I'm not trying to tell you that one would have, I would have ever called that. I don't know if I would or not. But it did head up, and look at that midband trade. See there? You wait for the trend change, stair step, get the midband trade. Over and over and over. And there's the end of the day with a midband trade, by the way. So our stuff works. Now, I only opened the room for 2 hours, but I can tell you this, in those 2 hours, if you simply take some of these trade calls that were called live, okay, this trade was called absolutely live, this trade was called absolutely live. Not any after the fact. I simply draw lines on the chart and I say box it in. And we had this box literally drawn just like that across our chart. Trade, trade. Okay? Now, who wants to win a year of Viper? I've been here for an hour, so I think you're all probably getting tired of my voice by now. Who wants to win it? Well, what we're going to do then, there's X number of people in this webinar, which is in hundreds are in here, which is really, really good. So Linda's going to put in that number in a generator, but first we're going to draw for 3 $50,000 Apex accounts. Now, the only caveat on this is you have to buy it while it is, they've got a great special going right now, and I'll buy you a $50,000 account if you win this. So she's going to do the first drawing right here, and on this one, it's number 54. So let me count down the list. 2, 3, 4. That's 50. And let them go 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jim H. Jim H. You're still in here because I can see your name. All right, Jim H. You just won an Apex account worth the $50,000 evaluation. Okay. Now, Apex, if you've never been with Apex, they require you to do an evaluation. But if you pass it, then you get to get real money. Okay, which is pretty cool. Okay. So Jim H, let me write that down. Linda had to get a phone real quick, so I'm going to write Jim's name down real quick. Jim H. Stick around, everybody, because there's still more to come. All right, Jim H won a 50,000. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel again, Linda. Number 24. Let me count down the list. Ed N. Ed N. E-D-N. All right. Now, all you have to do is contact us. Yeah, Ed, just contact us. Go to our website. Let me just go back there real quick, and I'm going to show you how to send an email. Just simply go to the contact page, and I'm going to blank this out because I've got a contact in here, which somebody just contacted me. All right. So go to the contact page and contact support@vipertradingsystems.com, or send an email to viperlicensing@vipertradingsystems.com. Okay? And we'll make sure that you get that Apex account. All right? So, and don't just go signing up on their deal, because we've got a discount code which you have to use right here. This will get you 80% off, and I'm paying the difference on it. Now, keep in mind, if you hold on to this account, it will be rebilled next month and next month and next month, but that's only like 30 some odd dollars for a $50,000 account, and we will pay that for you. Okay? All right, let's spin the wheel again, Linda. Wow, make me count down the list. All right, we're almost there. 4 more. This one goes to Jeff Yeager. Jeff Yeager. Sounds kind of like you're, hey, by the way, in a way, you could be winning the lottery, because guess what? Apex will give you the first $25,000 that you make, and then they split with you 90% after that. So that's a pretty good deal. Wow, the next one is number 5. Let's see who number 5 is in the webinar today. Now, this one is the grand prize winner right here. Okay, so let me give you a couple of little hints on it, okay? See if the person can guess who they are. Your name means the father of many nations. Anybody know that? Let's see if he does. There you go. Several people in here know it. Abraham. Abraham. Abraham, is that Leiva? Leiva? Abraham. You won 1 full year of Viper Trading Systems valued at nearly $5,000. You will have access to all the trading rooms that are ever open. You have access to the scripts during your entire year. There's no fee of any kind, no taxes, nothing like that. You'll just simply get a subscription and you won't have to pay for it. All right, is Abraham here? Let's hear Abraham say he's here, because you do have to be here. Otherwise, we draw again. Let's see. Abraham. Yep, Abraham. Is that Leiva? Am I pronouncing that right, Abraham? Leiva. Leiva. Okay. More like Leiva, right? Okay. All right. So Abraham Leiva won the 1 year. Everybody give a quick show of hands that they're happy that Abraham won, because we're going to have another webinar in a couple of months, and we're going to give away another one. All right. My whole goal in life is to teach people to trade my system. Okay. It's very important to me that you learn how to trade. If you're not a great trader as of yet, then become one, because with our stuff, you can do that. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. Linda's writing that all down. Give me a second. I want to show you something here just real quick. I don't even have a chart ready, but I'm going to just go ahead and put my account on it so you can see. They may not actually. There's no data. Sorry about that. No, it's wrong time of day. I can't get it Oh, there it came up. It does show what I did today. So let me just show you real quick. This is on an actual PA account, just like we gave away 3 of them just a few minutes ago. And I'm going to go ahead and put my template on it because I love my template. I apologize for having some issues at the first, but you know, you go from doing playback to live data and Rhythmic can go kind of crazy. All right, bear with me a second. I'm going to show that chart. All right, just on our trade calls this morning that were called out live, this is one of my Apex PA accounts, which is an actual funded account, okay? And this was done just strictly on oil this morning as I called these trades. So when I opened the room at 8 a.m., 7:50 to be exact, because we like to open the room right at 10 minutes till the start of the market, which is about right through here, like so, right about there. And that trade was called. Sorry about that. Why did you go away? That trade was called right there. Couple of contracts, you're in the money. Couple of contracts, you're in the money. Couple of contracts, you're in the money. And last but not least, that trade right there. And I actually even called that trade, and I'll show you a little secret too. This trade was called simply because of an Elliott wave measured move. Show it to you. Thrust, retrace, and thrust. And it came within just a few ticks of that top. Now, they don't always come exactly, but when it hit that predictor and rolled, we got out of the trade because we had a trend line drawn. But that was a, quote, measured move. Close enough. And that's what we do, is we make sure that, like when you get in this trade right here, you want to get that first thrust and retrace and then draw your trend line. And by the way, with our tools, you can actually get out of that trade with a tool called wedge. So why let it go all the way back where you got in down here? You may have thought, hey, oil's going to go up forever. A lot of people think that. They'll get in a trade and they'll go, wow, you know, this thing, look at this thing, it's going to the moon, going to the moon. And then all of a sudden they break a trend line and down they go. Okay, so we get out of the trades. And that's a smarter way to trade than waiting for this thing to come all the way back down against you. Abraham, yes. Matter of fact, no, just go ahead and contact us. Go to vipertradingsystems.com to our contact page and contact us. You can even go to our chat widget and contact us. Go ahead and put in your email just in case, because I don't want you to ever lose this accidentally, okay? Because we gave it away, you get it. Okay, did everybody enjoy the webinar today? Congratulations to all the winners. Okay, we're going to write that down. Linda's going to write it down right now. Bear with me just a second. Now, one thing I want everybody else that's here to do is go ahead and take a trial with me or come into the trading room. So what I'm going to do after we close this, if you use your real email address to get in this webinar, you're going to get an invite to the room tomorrow morning and the rest of the week and the rest of next week, free of charge. The dots appear, Jerry, that's a good question. That's called Lightning 3. And those appear with an algorithm that we've written that actually kind of catches those swings before they fully form. The free trial does get the live room, absolutely. All right, so real quick, Alfred, what are you asking? Can we get a trial if we were a subscriber before? Absolutely. Now, if something happens and you sign up for a trial and it doesn't let you do it, just send an email to our contact link and we'll make sure you get that, okay? So let me show you that contact page one more time. Right here, just simply fill it out and contact us and we'll make sure that you get a trial. Our stuff is pretty sophisticated. It knows if you've had a trial in the last 6 months, so it may not give you one, but all I've got to do is delete you from our database and put you back in and you can go on a trial again, and we'll do that for you. Okay, let you know that I personally, you know, I traded with my business partner for 13 years. It is a single run room nowadays. It's just one trade caller. I'll eat them if I call them wrong, and I'll praise the trades that are called right because we're all about making you money. And I have every single day that people go, wow, Gary, you know, I made my 500 bucks, I made my 1,000 bucks. Uh, Will, you got a trial yesterday. You should have the links on your login. Yeah, Linda's going to contact you. But if you go to your login, now see, I'm a member because I'm the owner of the company, but you have a little under your login, you have called weekly links. This will get you to the trading room right here. Click it, and there's the webinar link. Everybody can copy that down if you want. Matter of fact, I'll just give it to you for the week. I'll put it in the chat box. This is the link for the rest of the week right here. Anybody take time to copy it, and you're welcome to come in. I love to have people in my room. Okay. Now, one thing, keep in mind that in our webinar, there's not as much that I can, really share with you as I can on an, a basis of actually running a trading room, because I answer questions even as we're trading. But I can definitely tell you this, that the trades that were called in that room this morning were enough to make you good money if you just get out of them when you're supposed to, draw your trend lines. Okay. All right. So we have Jim H that won a $50,000 Apex account. We got Ed N that won a $50,000 account, and we got a Jeff Yeager that won a $50,000 Apex account. And Abraham got the big prize. He's the father of many nations, and he's going to be trading Viper. I can show you ES chart real quick. Sure. Let's go to ES just real quick. I'll run this as long as y'all want me to. Some people are contacting us already, but bear with me a second. I'll get an ES chart. Anybody trade ES today? Real quick show of hands. ES is called in the room too, by the way. Not as often as oil because ES doesn't move as much as oil does. But let's just go and see if we could have gotten some trades on ES this morning. All right, we opened the room at 750. All right, so 750, I'm going to go ahead and put a line here, and you tell me if you can see a trade. That's about when I opened the room right there. All right, that's called a predictor trade. This looks at all this price action and it predicts where it's going to retrace to. That trade right there was called live in the room this morning on ES, and a beautiful 10 tick or better trade. There's another predictor trade right there that also went down. Okay. Another predictor trade that went down, and another predictor trade that went down. So let me ask you a question. Two contracts, 250. That one didn't quite touch predictor, so let's skip it. 250, 250. There's 750 right there. So if you traded this and you got these trades, by the way, this was also called, now this is our go-to trade. It's the mid-band trade. That was called also, and there's another 250. So think about this. You got 250, 250, 250, 250. Even if you held this, let's say that this one didn't do 10 ticks. I think it did because it hit mid-band, it rolled over, but let's just say it didn't. Or that you got this one, there's 250 again. There's a $1,000 bill on ES alone. That was also called long, by the way. And I had a line drawn on the chart. I told my people in the room, I said, your long short line is 41.43. How do we know that? Well, for one thing, it double bottomed down here, triple bottom, quadruple bottomed. It broke resistance and off it went. That was a good trade too. Okay, do we have a PDF that explains each trade setup? Rich, I'm going to be working on some of that quite a bit more as we go. Most everything that I've done has been in webinars. And truthfully, after Charles passed away, I had more than I could handle for the longest time. I actually came up with basically a website that would be a lot more automatic for me. It literally will alert me if I'm walking around Costco. You know, if somebody wants to know something. You know, I had a guy that was stuck in a trade while I was at Home Depot, and I quickly, you know, answered his little text that he sent me and told him exactly how to get out of that trade. He was new. Oh, you'll be a little bit confused for a while, Rich, but don't fret it. I can promise you that when I call the trade, just do it in sim for a while. Because here's the thing about trading. It's called muscle memory. If you'll train your mind to see the trades, then pretty soon your finger reacts. Okay? So when I call those trades like that, you'll actually react and take some of those trades. And all you got to do is get a few of them. Like I say, I've got people that only want, you know, $500. What do you think? Well, let's just look at a trade here real quick. You got a high, you got a low, you got a lower high, you got a lower low. Now this would normally be a phantom, but what's the direction that's trying to head on these charts with lower highs? See that lower high even right there? That's probably going to head down, not up. There's a phantom, but let's see if it actually broke. Now, do we take the breakout trade as much, or do we wait for the mid-band trade? Because I could tell you where this trade's going just by drawing the fib. And I'll bet you it goes right to that mid-band or possibly that swing right there. Let's see if it did. That went lower, so let's go down again, mid-band again. There it is, mid-band trade. See it? Perfect predictor, phantom, or pardon me, predictor mid-band rollover. Okay, and the trade setups will be pretty easy to learn, I think, Rich, because I've got some people that literally only take first time in the mid-band after a trend change, first time in the mid-band after a trend change, that one would have stopped at break even. That one would have shorted, that one would have shorted. This one I called long in the room live. Okay, so this one over here, pardon me, that one was called live because it broke our long short line in the sand. Okay, so I could stay here all day, but I promise you I couldn't teach you everything about Viper in the time I'd still be here. Okay, you see 15 or so different colors, bands, lines, etc. Well, basically what you're seeing is our algorithms and everything, and you're seeing it so that you can actually take these trades based on colors. But I promise you, once you get in the room for a few days, maybe even a few weeks as far as that goes, you will get these trades. And they will be called out in real time too. Okay? So thanks everybody for coming. Hope everybody enjoyed it. I will absolutely get an invite to everybody. I will also send out the recorded webinar to everybody. And again, congratulations to all the winners. And as far as I'm concerned, you're all winners because we're all traders. And we trade for a living or we trade for fun or extra income. How many would like to actually, for instance, buy a office chair, $2,000 office chair just on your trading? You know, most comfortable thing in the world, then just trade. What if you want a boat? Then trade and buy a boat. What if you wanted solar? I bought solar off of trading, $100,000 worth of solar. The price to become a member, if anybody does, Gene, that's a good question. I'll go ahead and go over that. If you want to go ahead and just join up and forget the trial and things like that, then simply don't go to our member login, or pardon me, our price link, because I'll give you a better price than that. If you go to vipertradingsystems.com and go to our pricing link, you'll see that we're $3.99 a month. Okay, right here. But if anybody wants to join today, I'll tell you what I'll do. And I didn't plan on doing this because I'm not a promoter for when you first seen my stuff. I'm not going to try to sell you on it, although we don't charge $5,000 up front like some vendors do either. You know, when I learned to trade, it was literally like, you know, putting out all the money you could just to learn. You know, I paid $5,000 for this, I paid $5,000 for that. You know, when I learned to really trade is when Charles and I got together and we started trading range bars and developed our own system. But I'm going to give you a link. If you do want to join, feel free to. And by the way, if you do decide to join, I'll give you an Apex account plus this price right there, $249 a month. That includes everything that we've got. You can join by Stripe or PayPal, either one, credit card of any kind, PayPal, you know, if you got a PayPal account. But I only showed this because somebody, Gene, asked to see it. You're welcome to become a member of us for $249 a month in perpetuity. You won't have to worry about paying more. And you can just use this link right here. And if anybody joins up off of this webinar or the recording, I'm going to be fair to everybody because I'm a fair person. I will give them a chance also that watch they'll watch this webinar and they'll hear this. Okay, so I put it in the chat link. That's $249 a month, and I will give you a $50,000 Apex account. Okay, all you have to do is go to my link right here, click on it, and then scroll down and join up with an Apex account, $50,000. It's normally $167 a month. It'll only be $36.15 if I remember right, tax and all. And we'll pay everything but the tax. We can't legally pay the tax. I don't know why, but they won't let you. But it'll even recur at that because we've got a deal going right now to where you can get an Apex account for 80% off and 80% recurring with our code. Okay? Anybody has any questions, just feel free to contact me. We've been running this a long time. Thanks everybody for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll teach you my system, promise you. All right, thanks everybody. Have a good one. Adios. I will send out an email, and I'll craft the email to where it'll have a link so you can get that free Apex account and everything if you want. But feel free to just come in and kick the tires with us. You don't have to join. All right, bye everyone.